there's another episode of trying to get ourselves canceled. So we're going to dive into a topic that kind of popped off recently.
Men are horrible.
Yeah. Do that. It's a good buffer.
Yeah,
good
men
buffer.
are horrible.
Boo, black man, boo.
Yeah.
But anyways, topic that kind of popped off recently. R&B singer Ari Lennox has some comments. Is this not recording?
No, you're good. You're
Okay,
good. You're good.
Just making sure. About the show, famous sitcom Martin, and she just in her comments she alluded to the fact that she kind of always felt a little bit off put, feeling as though the comedy and jokes directed towards Sheena Arnold's character Pam were racially motivated, and that there was undertones of colorism that were prevalent throughout the show in terms of like how Pam was addressed by other characters. There's been a big divide on social media with the reaction to these comments. Rob, what were your thoughts when you first heard about it?
Too many woke people need to go to sleep. Too many woke people need to go to sleep, and it's kind of like I'll be honest with you. I feel like it's pure boredom. If I'm being honest with you, or I'm actually disappointed in Ari a little bit, and I would just say it's like, to me, it's weird. Where I think people, it's almost kind of like, ooh, stay with me. I think people only have two vocabulary words. It's either peak or it's mid. There's no in between. Like, anything you watch has flaws in it. Like, I'm eventually, I promise you, and we'll talk, I'm gonna watch The Penguin. I'm gonna get caught up. I trust your judgment. I actually think, from all the reactions I've like loosely heard, I think it's actually like peak material. I think it's probably up there. But that doesn't make like I'm trying to think of like a truly mid show, like the Disney Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's, to me, is like mid, but it's still palatable. But like, people may call that like it sucks. I would probably give that a solid 6.5, 6, meaning when it comes to things that you don't like, and like sensitivity, where it's kind of like with the whole Ari thing, where it's like, you can just not like this and it can be really good, and that's okay. So
I would say, I mean, you didn't ask me no question, like to talk it back, whatever. For me, I would say this: I'm never going to tell anybody how they should or should not feel. Sheena Arnold has already kind of spoken on stuff related to this, saying that she never felt as though her character was attacked for her skin complexion, and to my recollection, I don't remember Pam ever being attacked about that. I'll say this though, it's just kind of weird to me how, like, if folks feel this way, or the community is vocal about this, then you can't separate Martin from the content within the show.
no,
because he did write on the show. This is a show that he's the lead in, and he's the one whose most of Pam's jokes were coming from. So then if you feel as though, these jokes were derogatory or anything, then like, I would think there would be a call to hold him accountable, as in the last, say, 15 to 10 years, we like to do with every other thing we'd like to cancel. So like, I don't know, it's weird. This is like the one time people are trying to like separate stuff, because I think they have an affinity for Martin Lawrence, which I mean a lot of us do.
Yeah.
But if you feel this strongly about it, stop watching the show, and also get on his ass as you would if it was a person who didn't look like Martin.
But that goes into like her response, where like, I feel like she got like a decent amount of backlash, and she was like, "Oh, this is my opinion." I feel like when people say, it's almost kind of like, we have this podcast, like somebody's gonna disagree with us, and it's a part of the game. But I also can't like do like the pew pew and then like hide if like if Nicki Minaj been like, "Why y'all talking about me?" Like, we don't have to.
You gotta stand on it.
You gotta stand on it, and like, that's my point of view, and like, I'm willing to have that dialogue. But like, when you say like, "Oh, it's just my opinion," you are running from the debate or the conversation, because you should be able to have that because you put it out there on the internet. I think like the sad thing about it is like, even in her video, she kind of contradicts herself where she's like, "Oh, I don't like when people are jokey or make fun of people or bully people or things of that manner." But then in that whole statement, she also talked about like, if I go there, I'm gonna drag somebody. Usually when people say I'm gonna drag you, it's either physical or you're gonna talk some shit about people. So if you go at this Gandhi nonviolence, BS, that's a walking contradiction, meaning like, to me, you're just bored. Like, you're just finding something to pick at.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with her, I think she's just like very confused, and like, I'm not just saying, because I want to make sure say this, I'm not saying that the stereotypical trope. I think Ari Lennox, sometimes I feel like she has difficult energy person-itis, where like I feel like you'll say one thing to her and she'll be like, "But you really meant this," and you're like, "No, this is what I mean." But she's like, "I feel," and like there are just this thing of super sensitive people. Now, my question is to you: do you think is her just being overly sensitive, or do you actually think Martin was picking on dark skinned women?
Now, see, this is a setup where he's going to try to clip this, and I know he's going to post me to protect his own ass. But,
I didn't tag you in today's.
I'll entertain him, though. All right. So,
I didn't tag you in today's.
I'll entertain him. Come on. So we're here. If you're asking my own personal opinion, no, I don't believe Martin was targeting Pam per se due to the complexion of her color. The dynamics of their relationship to me mirrored most that I've seen within our community, where you're dating a woman and you and her close friend, get a rapport. We're like, "I don't like your little ugly ass," right? But it's kind of like some brother sister shit. It's all I love. And there's even been at least one episode I can recall. I can't remember like the scenario in my head where this other woman was trying to shoot or talk shit about Pam, and Martin was like, hold on. I can say that about little ugly ass, not you, right? So there's that. But I also say this as somebody who has a sister who is darker complected and also a mother. So I do or am aware that there, through media, whether it be like TV, movies, or whatever like the medium may be, there are undertones as far as like how darker complected black women can be portrayed. Whether it be, comments about their hair, how aggressive they are, like, damn, your ass is strong, shit like that, right? And so a lot of it is based in colorism. Do I think this is necessarily the best example of that? No. But how she feels is how she feels. I'm not going to dishonor that. I just don't agree with it. But as a light-skinned man, that's not necessarily my place to say how someone is receiving stuff.
Yeah. But also, then she came for Bernie Mac. I was like, now I know you just fucking around. Because, like, at the end of, like, maybe I'm biased and maybe I'm just looking at life through my own rose-colored glasses. Where, like, those shows are a staple show to tell us about the orientation of family. And, like, for me, maybe it's just me. I wasn't looking at, like, all right, Carlton's this color, Hillary's this color, like I felt like it was just a family trying to be a family. And I just know in black culture, humor is like one of our cultural staples where it's kind of like,
and I know we're not a monolith, but a lot of us, we do shoot the shit with our family.
And I'm just kind of like, where's the cognitive flexibility where it's like so many people they want you to hold your hand, come here, all right, just do this and you do this. Sometimes you gotta like,
was that a shot?
No. No.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to bleep that out because thank you. Meaning, come here, little Terry. Where it's kind of like a good show sometimes is there won't be a good ending and you have to fill in the blanks. And I feel like rightfully so when we look at dark skinned women, the world has so many times left them to fill in the blank that sometimes I think you can reach and overanalyze. And when you overanalyze stuff, sometimes you miss the love or you miss the intention behind what was going on. And I feel like with those two shows, the Bernie Mac show grew me up. Jamie Foxx show, Martin, Fresh Prince, where I'm just kind of like, I feel like they're all trying to teach us that lesson of just like, not just humor, but being a family and having friends. Like never once did I feel like to be honest with you, I feel like I was most exposed to like colorism and things like that, not from like sitcoms, but more from like, I would say more like music and like going to school. Like I'm like, all right, red bone, what's that? And then the dude was like, scratch your wrist. That's a red bone. I was like, okay. I remember at middle school. I was like, you want a red? I was like, I remember like what's the difference? Where it's like, I was like, all right, but like I've always taken those things as a matter of fact, because actually looking at my whole family, we have like almost like all shades of black spectrum. I've seen like on the regular, so like my type and preferences been whatever, but it's like no, those shows that's a staple for the community. So I actually will fight that. So I disagree with her heavily. So
word. Well, hopefully that woman finds healing and. No, it'd actually be dope if her and Martin could like have a conversation about the content.
I wonder what she's gonna say about leaving Dreamville.
Probably nothing, honestly.
J. Cole, please.
Yeah, I don't think she'll say anything for real.
I just don't. Besides J. Cole leaving the rap battle,
we're not gonna turn this into Ari Lennox drag. So we could. We're not going to turn this into a drag Ari Lennox.
No.
All right.
No, what? No, I haven't. Anyway, I just hope, because J. Cole has already, he left the rap battle. That kind of like hurt me. I'm like, come on, nigga, you can't fucking do that. I would just hate for him to do some poo shiesty shit to her. To be like, Cole, come on. But that's all.
What you mean about poo shiesty shit?
Being like, a bad label deal, because I feel like, the reason why she left, I just hope, I
mean, he's cashed out most of the artists.
Yeah, I think Jid, hopefully I'm saying it, JID.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'd be butchering people's names. Y'all know that by now. But it's like, I feel like he was given praise, so I just hope.
Him and Boss.
I just hope there's no like icky stuff.
Yeah.
So I hope, they seem to be on talking terms and shit like that. But most importantly, before we get out here, Black women, we love them.
That we do.
Umar is losing. His accounts are frozen. So we're going to have to step up and let us know that, you black queens are protected. This is a show. We protect black queens over here.
We do. Umar reference is crazy. But, it's been a good episode. If you made it this far, please, thank you for this. Please continue to watch and thank you for the support. As always, like, comment, subscribe. I'm Tay Ford. And this is Mr. or whatever.
It's your favorite Cartier.
All right. See y'all next week.
Peace. Da-na-na, da-na.